Alrighty, so this is my quick review of the Onda V101w. This is a $200 Windows 8 tablet running on the full Bay Trail architecture. It has a Intel Z3735 quad-core processor, and yeah, it's a Windows 8 tablet. So this is my best attempt to recreate it in the box as I received it. It's from www.banggood.com. Came in a little pouch like this. Obviously, I've already opened it up. And here it is. And with it, we got a screen protector, an AC charger. It does not charge via micro USB, and a USB OTG adapter. Additionally, there was an Office 365 product card in here. Obviously, I'm not going to show that on camera because I have not yet activated it. So, let's look around the device. This is the device. I mean, you know, it's a tablet. Metal back, very nice. On the side here, you have microphone, headphone set, jack, HDMI, trans flash card or micro SD card, and then a micro USB port, but you can't actually use it to charge the device. You have to go and attach it to the USB here to make it usable. And then you have your DC input. On the top here, power button, volume. This side, nothing. And the bottom, just a keyboard connector. And I'll get back to that later. You have a 5 megapixel camera on the back, not really that good. 2 megapixel on the front, not even close to that. It's just bleh. You won't be using this thing to take pictures. So, let's turn it on. Okay, as you can see, it starts up pretty quickly. I mean, that was out of sleep. However, from a cold boot, it's pretty fast. And it really doesn't have many glitches at all. There is one with the SD card. However, it's a Bay Trail issue, not a Onda issue. And so, yeah, I mean, runs pretty darn smoothly. Capacitive home button, by the way. One thing that is really unusual about this, that I really like, you can actually wake it up using the home button. So even though it's a capacitive button, it still works when the screen is off. And it vibrates too. Okay, so, I'm not going to get too much into like benchmarking and stuff. I mean, they're all of those are online, so I'll try to link to them in the description. Anyway, let's play some HD video here. However, it just, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And here to read your final award-winning word, we've brought back reigning champion Cassie Winters. Did anyone stay the whole day in Express last night?
Okay, let's change the quality. Make sure we are in 1080p. Let's change that. Now, I apologize, my internet is not particularly fast. Although that actually worked really well. Okay. So yeah. And this is, the colors look really nice. This is a 1280 by 800 IPS display. The colors are good. However, it did come with a few dead pixels. They're nearly impossible to see. So they're up here in this corner. Although the viewing angles are great, it does have one slight other issue besides the dead pixel. The display really isn't that bright. As you can see, this is max brightness, and this is the most dim it gets, and that's still really not that dim. Trying to use this in a brightly lit room is actually hard. Forget about using it outside. Speakers, as you heard, not that great either. However, again, you get what you pay for. $200, and this is what you get. And it's really quite nice for that. Okay, so this tablet only has 32 gigabytes of built-in storage, which really is not much. When you first get it and install updates, you will have about 15 gigabytes free. Not too much, and therefore internal hard drive space is a huge valuable. So, you will be having an SD card for this. However, the micro SD card slot only supports speeds up to about 25 megabytes per second. That is not an issue with the tablet, that is an issue with Bay Trail itself. Theoretically, it can support up to 50 megabits per second if you have a UHS card. However, it's glitchy. It will crash and not work. Now I'm going to test the read and write speeds of my SD card. It's a Samsung Pro 32 gigabyte. You can see part of the package there. And it should be able to support read speeds up to 90 megabytes per second. Megabytes per second, my bad. And you really notice it on here. So I'm going to start it, and we'll report back when it's finished. Okay, so that's done now. And as you can see, it's fairly limited. It's not at all near the 90 megabytes per second that the card is capable of. And it's approaching 25, which is what is the stated limitation. So I'm going to go with that. Now I'm going to do the internal disk, and I will report back once that finishes. Alrighty, so now that that's done, you can see that the internal disk is significantly faster. And so, although you're going to have to store all your programs on the SD card for the most part, it's nice to have that there in case you need it. So I'm going to exit out of this and get on to the last part of it. So all these people are like obsessed with gaming, and I don't get quite what it is about it. However, I do happen to have one game, and I am certainly willing to try it on here. So, oh, and I'm going to take advantage of the USB port for this too. So hold up tight while I grab the adapter. So here's the USB. This is just going to a hub and then my controller, because this does not provide much power on its own. Enough for a flash drive, not much else. So you plug this in to your USB, and then you plug this into the tablet. Oh, and there it goes. Okay, so start this up. Sorry about that. So now I'm going to get right back to the gaming. This really shows off kind of how bad the speakers are.
They told me, son, you're special. You were born to do great things. You know what? They were right.
Alrighty, so now we're in the game. As you can see, it is not exactly the best in terms of frame rate. And I apologize, I have... So yeah, it's doable. It's just a question of whether you'd want to play or not. And don't expect to play anything modern on this because this is not a new game by any means. So yeah, yeah.
I am Andrew Ryan, and I'm here to ask you a question. Is a man not entitled to the sweat of his brow? No, says the man in Washington, belongs to the poor. No, says the man in the Vatican, it belongs to God. No, says the man in Moscow, it belongs to everyone. I rejected those answers. Instead, I chose something different. I chose the impossible. I chose rapture. City where the artist would not fear the censor, where the scientist would not be bound by petty morality, where the great would not be constrained by the small. The sweat of your brow, rapture can become your city as well.
So load times aren't the best, especially considering that I'm running this off of the micro SD card. And I'm currently running this at 600 by 800 resolution. The graphics settings are on high just because it can handle it. If you turn them to low and change out the resolution, it doesn't seem to help much. I'm sure there's an explanation for that. I don't understand what it would be though. Okay. Anyway, so that's my quick overview of the Onda V101w Windows 8 tablet.